All right, everybody, circle up.
From Wish TV.
Here we go.
Indy Style is Indy's only live local lifestyle program.
Everything they do is great. You're part of it. Talk about things that I want to know about.
Where life and style meet.
Oh, this is great.
Really great energy.
Really having a wonderful time.
The best. I love it.
Everything about him is great.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the big announcement you've all been waiting for.
This is the Indy Style Podcast.
All right, let's get right to it.
On the All Indiana Podcast Network.
From Wish TV's Indy Style, I'm Amber Hankins, and on this episode, I chat with singer-songwriter sensation Damon Karl and his manager Sid Johnson about their mutual love for music, their relationship with Babyface, and their number one tip for new and upcoming artists.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale, up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Audible's romance collection has something to satisfy every side of you. When it comes to what kind of romance you're into, you don't have to choose just one. Fancy a dalliance with a duke, or maybe a steamy billionaire. You could find a book boyfriend in the city and another one tearing it up on the hockey field. And if nothing on this earth satisfies, you can always find love in another realm. Discover modern rom-coms from authors like Lily Chu and Ali Hazelwood, the latest romantasy series from Sarah J. Maas and Rebecca Yarros, plus Regency favorites like Bridgerton and Outlander. And of course, all the really steamy stuff. Your first great love story is free when you sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com/Wondery. That's audible.com/Wondery.
Okay, so we are back now on the Indy Style Podcast. I am so happy to have in Damon Karl with the acoustic guitar we heard on Indy Style a little while ago. And then, of course, his manager, Sid Johnson. You both, such a pleasure. So nice to meet you. So nice to have you on the podcast this morning. Welcome. Welcome to Indy Style Podcast. Welcome to Wish TV. Okay, Damon, I want to start with you because your voice is just incredible. I mentioned on our Indy Style segment a little while back that you have not only that talent and ability to play that guitar, but that smooth sounding voice. Tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got your start.
Well, as you all know, I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I got my start when I was 16. I went to a church, and I bought my first guitar when I was 16, and I saw the inspiration from, local legend Babyface Kenny Edmonds.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to be just like him. And that's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote.
And here we are. But I credit that as well to this man, to Sid Johnson. Tell me about your relationship with Damon, how you guys met. How did all this magic begin?
It's kind of a strange thing in the sense that I used to manage Babyface, and I helped discover him and helped to launch him into the place that he is.
Incredible.
And he's one of my best friends. And so I sort of have this natural knack for being able to discover talent. And Damon was a participant in a talent show for an artist to open up for the R&B singer Tank. And local DJ, concert promoter Gino Shelton, asked me to be a judge. And that's where I first saw Damon and discovered him. And immediately after he performed, he didn't win the contest, and it wasn't because I didn't vote for him, that there were 4 other judges, so it was 5 people making the decision.
Sure.
So someone else won the contest, but he won the contest for me. So I walked up to him afterwards, and I was like, I'd like to work with you, because I remember when Babyface, which, I call Kenny, I only call him Babyface if I'm introducing him to somebody else.
Sure.
And so I remember Kenny going around with his acoustic guitar, riding the bicycle, singing and playing. And I was like, This kid reminds me of Kenny when he was younger,
Yeah.
So it was sort of like deja vu,
Right.
And so one of the thrills, certainly, of Damon's life is I took him to a concert to let him meet Babyface. And lo and behold, he got to open for him in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, this is amazing. Okay, I have to ask you, please reply to that and tell me what that was like.
Like it is right now,
no words.
speechless, because It was amazing. It was an amazing feeling because you walk on stage and, you know, little do I know, Babyface, he was standing in the corner, and you know, I'm like, yeah, I'll play this song, you know, really loud, and the curtains they open up, and you see this crowd that's like it's very quiet, but you know, you kind of get the feeling of like, man, they're all watching me right now, and it's just it's an incredible feeling.
Yeah,
especially watching you.
Yes,
watching you.
Babyface is watching me. Yeah.
Well, if our listeners right now, I want to take a quick pause because if they're thinking, okay, I want to hear this guy sing, I want to hear his voice, so let's do just that. Take a listen.
'Cause I'm so in love with you. Love me stronger, love me better than you ever will. 'Cause I'm so in love with you. So beautiful, love me stronger, love me better than you ever will. 'Cause I'm so beautiful.
Okay, so that's that beautiful
Yes.
sound that I'm talking about. And you only picked up the guitar at 16?
Self-taught.
Self-taught.
At 16, yes.
How does that happen? How do you teach yourself? Is that just YouTube videos? and
YouTube
things?
University and watching fellow musicians in my church, and also, you know, you have a community of musicians that help you know, develop your craft. So, you know.
Yeah. So let's talk about where you are now, but where you want to be. What are your future goals for yourself?
My future goal for myself is to really get my music out there, to really let people hear my music that aren't really, you know, hip to R&B or hip to R&B and soul, you know.
Yeah.
I really want to be able to be a voice for those people that, you know, that create the R&B music. So
Yeah. Have you ever been told, and I'm going out on a limb here, but have you ever been told that you got a little bit of a MJ in your voice?
Yeah, a lot of times,
I hear
quite
a little
more
bit
than
Michael
often.
Jackson,
Yeah.
even especially just when you talk. When I first heard you talk, I thought, oh, that sounds like a young Michael
Yeah.
Jackson. How cool is that? Okay, so obviously Babyface is a big inspiration for you. Who else is in or on your playlist to where you kind of just model yourself, mold yourself off of those vibes?
I definitely like R&B artist Joe. He's a really great artist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him.
Of course, you have like the Ozzy Brothers, Earth, Wind and Fire. Just an abundance of R&B artists. Or I mean, I like rock. I like country. Any type of genre of music is absolutely my favorite.
Yeah.
So I kind of, what I do is I gravitate to a lot of music that really reaches the soul. You know, what comes from the heart reaches the heart.
Right.
So.
Sid, I think for me, not only do you have obviously a talented artist, but seems like a really good guy too, who is humble, who knows what he wants, but he's going to stay on that path to get there. Am I correct in that assumption?
It's a joy dealing with an artist like him who doesn't have baggage, because a lot of people nowadays in the music business have baggage. This is a good guy. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't do drugs, he doesn't even use profanity. He's just a good guy. He's like, you couldn't get it any better than this. You know, I'm not afraid to take him anywhere. I even let him come to one of my family reunions, and he's serenading all my little nieces and nephews and cousins gathered around him, like the people who used to do around the Beatles. They were just like, oh my God, and I was like,
amazing.
Oh yeah, he's a good guy.
You know why that's so important though? Because there are so many people who, you know, you get that, they have that talent or you have that ability, but then you've got these other things that kind of steer you off that path, right? Especially if you get even more well known. But you, my friend, seem very grounded. Where does that come from?
It comes from a community that's surrounded by me. You have people like Mr. Sid Johnson here that's, you know, my manager, and, you know, he definitely keeps me grounded because you don't want to be like an artist that's really arrogant, you know, that's really out there.
Yeah.
You want to be grounded and you want to be level-headed, so.
Well, I think it comes from some sort of internal good genes not like the blue jeans. I'm talking about the Genes, because I can't take responsibility for his creation, but, there's a good foundation here. He also didn't name the fact that he listens to people like Johnny Mathis and Ella Fitzgerald and folks like that. He listens, he studies the history of music. Sam Cooke, he knows. I dealt with an artist a few years ago when I first started dealing with him. I asked him about Sam Cooke. He didn't even know who that was. And I thought, like, how can you be a singer and you don't know who Sam Cooke is? Man. If your career starts with Chris Brown, then you're in trouble because, Chris Brown didn't start with Chris Brown. He knew who some of the people were from the past, like Al Green and so forth and so on. And if you look at Damon's playlist, I mean, he has Al Green, Maze featuring Frankie Beverly, the OJs. He likes Bruno Mars. He's all over the place. So I think that's what makes him kind of special.
I think that's what separates those singers also, singers from artists, genuine artists, who come into play. I don't want to keep you guys too much longer, but I do want to give any sort of advice for listeners out there. Sid, let's start with you, who this is something they may want to do. They're trying to get into the business. Any advice or tips for them before we let you go?
Find your own voice. Listen to the people that came before you. Know your history. In order to know where you're going, you have to know where you've been.
Absolutely.
You have to do your research. There's some wonderful books. If you don't want to buy them, you can go to the library. There's called This Business of Music, everything you need to know about the music business. There's just so many pieces of resources out there for you to study this game that we're in, because there's 3 levels to it. There's the music, there's the music business, and then there's the music industry. And if you don't recognize all 3, you could be in trouble. Make sure that your songs, your split sheets are done with the producers and the other writers on the tune. Make sure you belong to a performing rights organization. You get your songs encoded, you get them cleared, copywritten, the whole 9 yards. This is a business, believe it or not, because I have been a part of several songs that have been big hits, like Mariah Carey's We Belong Together and things like that. And whenever they want to use that on a TV show or in a movie, they have to reach out to me and get my sign off on it as well. And it's called owning the copyright. And that's the gift that keeps on giving. A lot of people nowadays, they split their music on SoundCloud. It's not cleared. It's not protected in any kind of way. They wonder why they don't get any of those wonderful streaming pennies.
Yeah.
That's because your stuff is not protected in any kind of way. I get to eat off of a few songs that I've written along with my good friend Babyface, because we handle our business. And this is what I instill in Damon, and I instill in all of my artists. So if you need some help, I'm findable on social media, and I do not charge an arm and a leg for consulting. I will help you get your business together.
Damon, it seems to me like you have a mighty fine teacher right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, Damon, let's wrap this up with you. Any last-minute advice for any other aspiring artists like yourself?
And to the fellow, aspiring artists, I do want to tell you to keep going, because, most times it's hard to just get up every day and be like, oh, man, I need to practice for this show or that show. Just keep going. Study your craft. Be able to actually listen to people and give your all. Give your 100% to people.
Thank you, guys. This has been a pleasure. Appreciate it. Damon, we wish you the absolute best from here on out. Sid, a pleasure as well. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.
From Wish TV's Indie Style, I'm Amber Hankins. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Indie Style podcast right now on the All Indiana Podcast Network.
Watch Indie Style weekday mornings at 10 a.m. on Wish TV. Follow Indie Style on Facebook and connect for even more at wishtv.com.
This concludes our broadcast day.
For even more great